Hi, welcome to A Week in Weatherfield, the Coronation Street review show presented by two people still worried about the fate of David's dog. I'm David Brown.
And I'm Jonathan Hughes.
This week's headlines: Sally in the dock,
Ches and Gemma spiked,
Brian's bad education. Well, it's less free the Weatherfield one and more lock her up at the moment, isn't it?
Lock her up, lock her up. Suddenly Weatherfield doesn't give any hoots about Sally, and it looks like they're leaving her to rot in prison. Where are those placards that Deirdre and Gail have?
T-shirts.
T-shirts? She'd be lucky if she gets a coaster.
I know.
Oh, what's gone wrong?
They all seem to have abandoned her, you know.
Very quickly as well. There was quite a turnaround this week, which I was particularly disappointed with Timothy.
As soon as aspersions were cast about his body odour, Tim wasn't having any of it, was he?
A comment Sally never even made about his BO basically made him rethink his entire marriage and think she was capable of infidelity and fraud. Doesn't take much, does it?
No, about that scheming Duncan. I think he should be in like a kind of Coronation Street Cads Club. Do you know what I mean?
There is a lot of members for that Cads Club. I think it's called the John Lindsay Association.
He could be club president.
He's definitely club president. Honorary trustees include Alan Bradley.
Yes, Richard Hillman.
John Stape, can we count him?
No, he's not raffish enough. Lewis Archer.
Definitely Lewis Archer. They're all cut from that cloth, aren't they? And it's working. His mind games.
Yes, definitely. And now it seems that Gina is also being hoodwinked, doesn't it?
Gina, I mean, you know, Gina's just a bit susceptible, I think, anyway. She's quite vulnerable. And he, I mean, again, she went from like early in the week to like out to get Duncan, didn't she? And it looks like by the end of the week, he has done a bit of a number on her, possibly. He's
like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Jedi mind tricks he's pulling on them.
You don't need to give evidence to your sister. Move along.
How's he managing this?
I don't know. It was very upsetting for Sally because she's in prison. Although she has got a friend in prison.
Yeah, she's got a friend in the form of Abby, who is basically Margie Clark from the Deirdre Barlow story, isn't she?
Jackie Dobbs.
Jackie Dobbs.
She's Jackie Dobbs. She's not like when Gail met Tracy Barlow in prison, because Tracy then tried to use Gail for her own ends and get Gail banged up for something she didn't do. But anyway, so she's being a friend to Sally. I'm loving this already, and
a friend by punching her in the face.
You know what? We all need friends like that. That's what our friendship's based on, Dave. Physical violence.
A bruise on the inside.
I know. If Sally does get out at some point, do you think her and Abby are going to be like gal pals?
Well, I think Abby and Tracy, all the bridges have been burned there, so Abby is going to need a comrade on the cobbles.
I think so.
Sally could fit the bill. The only thing about the week I didn't really understand, apart from the having to buy into people switching allegiances so quickly, was the fact that Paula and Sophie's relationship has always been something that's been kind of kept on the down low in the eyes of the judiciary. But now they don't seem to kind of care. But is it a conflict of interest?
I thought it was. And you know, the other week where the judge went to speed dial and met Sophie and Paula and knew they were an item, and then they got worried, like, oh, is that going to be a problem? But it turns out the judge just didn't like Sophie because she was a bit gobby. Apparently no conflict of interest. Sally's lawyer is dating Sally's daughter, and they're kind of, you know, possibly colluding together. Who knows? I was a bit confused about that. Surely there's rules.
I know. Well, from that relation intrigue to others in Weatherfield, we also have the ballad of Gemma and Spike this week. What did you think of that?
It's a ballad I could listen to time and time again. If only to marvel at Spike's 23 tattoos.
Yeah, one of which was of Bill Oddie. Do you think Gemma should get one of Tim Brooke Taylor? Chesney could get one of Graham Garden.
Goody, goody, gum, gum. Or she could get Chris Packham and Michaela Strachan.
Yes, one on each thigh.
Play that as Spring Watch.
Yeah, a bit of autumn watch.
I love it. It's on me in a thigh.
I need Gemma to stop talking with a mouthful of
Every
food.
Scene.
Please stop it.
You've got a thing about food humour, though. You don't really like it.
No, it's a waste.
Food. It is a bit off-putting, but all of Gemma's scenes are either in Speed Dial or the kebab shop. So she's always
bread coming out of a gob. Stop it.
Stop it, Gemma.
Yeah.
Don't speak with your mouth full.
Do we think that Gemma should be with Chesney?
Now, I'm very torn because I sort of think they would make a lovely couple. But also, I like the fact they're mates. I really like their friendship and their bants and the way they kind of, rib each other a bit. That might be lost if they were a couple.
True.
And also, what about Chesney and Emma? Like, Emma's lovely. I'm loving Emma's...
Professor Higgins. She's trying to Pygmalion Chesney.
My fair Chesney.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
All I want is a room. I think it would be lovely if that carried on. But I don't know. I mean, do you think... probably it's Chesney and Gemma...
Long term. End game.
End game Chesney and Gemma.
Is that what the youth say?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yes. But also, I think...
But it's the thrill of the chase, isn't it, as well? Because, when Niles got together with Daphne or Maddie got together with David on Moonlighting, that was it. That was the end of the story.
It's the end of the story. So, I think it would be a shame if they did. And I do like the kind of brother-sister thing going on. I also hope we see Spike again, because I think he's got much more mileage in him. Totally.
And he's had an air for me. Do you remember Graham, the window cleaner?
Graham!
Not our Graham.
Our Graham. Yeah. David's friend from Juvie.
That's right, yeah. I liked it. He had a bit of an off-kilter type delivery, and Spike was similar. So he could come back, and they could soften him a little bit, make him a bit more lovable, and he could be a mainstay on the show. And
then it would be more tension between Chesney and Gemma. We're basically planning the next 5 years of Chesney and Gemma storyline, so Corrie, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Save our Spike. Let's see him back on the street. Okay, on to our final story of the week. This was the Bessie Street spin-off that we had.
I know. Well, I mean, there's no Waterloo Road or Grange Hill anymore, but there is Bessie Street.
Yes.
Seems to be what we were watching half this week. Yeah, we were there a lot, weren't we?
Yeah, and a lot of pressure being heaped onto Brian Packham's sizable shoulders, weren't there?
There was. I also feel like it was perhaps a politically motivated storyline about the state of the education system, in that evil Mr Gillespie was all about targets.
Oh, he's all about the league tables.
All about the league tables and all of this. But actually, it's probably just a bit of nonsense to, before Christmas for an excuse for a nativity. But yeah, poor Brian. Do you feel sorry for Brian?
It is Nativity, the film, isn't it?
It is Nativity, like, come to life in Corrie, yeah.
I do feel sorry for Brian because Coronation Street, the lovable buffoon has always been a mainstay. So even going back to Leonard Swindley or Fred Elliott, Derek Wilton.
Derek Wilton was that's the one I remember the most. And I feel like, he's definitely of that ilk, isn't he?
Yeah, and they're often there to have their pomposity pricked in a way.
Yes.
But when they're on the ropes, it's tugging at the heartstrings because they're well-meaning, aren't they?
They are
these
well-meaning.
people.
You don't want bad things to happen to them. And I did feel genuinely like Brian was really being torn in all sorts of directions. And Mr Gillespie, is it Phil?
Phil Gillespie, that's right. Yeah.
He's like a young Duncan, don't you think?
They've got the same barber, obviously. He could be in the Cads Club.
He is like the newest member of the Cads Club.
He'll be the new initiate.
I don't trust him. No. And I didn't like the way he treated Brian. No. And I didn't like the way he spoke about Hope's tape.
Oh no, he said, well, yeah, what was he said about
Hope got into trouble because she's a bitter teacher because she's got issues. And Brian said, well, Hope's just troubled. And he said, trouble? She treated the teacher's forearm like a pepperoni. It's a bit harsh.
Not as harsh as Evelyn. She wanted to muzzle Hope, didn't she? Did you clock that bit?
Yeah, she was on about muzzling everyone. No, poor Hope. Muzzling. Muzzling on the street. We've seen it all now.
I think we need to swoop in. So we'll be back in 7 days' time when we'll be back with another week in Weatherfield. We're off now to grab our tea towels and head to the auditions for that nativity play. Bessie Street, we're coming for you.